Good morning, and thanks for coming in. Thanks for tuning in. Chris McCabe, head men's basketball coach, Liberty North. Coming off a busy week last week, we had 3 games in the North Kansas City tournament, of which we eventually placed 6th. First night out, we played Park Hill South. They handled us pretty good. We bounced back well on Thursday. We had the snow day, right? Is that right? Had the snow day on Wednesday, and our games got moved. So played on Thursday against Belton. Got up 28-9 and tried to give the fans their money's worth and give it away for a little while. So game ended up going to overtime, and we won in overtime 57-49, which was a good win for us. We should have won the game going away, but the fact that we stuck with it and played through the adversity was good, and got a win there. And then the next night we had KC Central, and we got up 6-0. We got down 24-14. We got up 47-40. So it was just, the game was all over the place, and we had 16 seconds to go. We had the ball down 2, called timeout, ran a play to try to win the game. Garrett Lowe hit a 3-pointer, which was 3 of his 31 points. He was pretty phenomenal on Friday. He hits a 3 to go up by 1 with 6 seconds to go. KC Central calls back-to-back timeouts and inbound the ball and drive the length of the floor and shoot a layup, and we lose by 1. So we had our opportunities to go 2-1. We are getting better, and Friday hurt because it hurt our guys because they understood that they put the work in, and we needed to make one play with 6 seconds to go, and not one guy on the court did, and went length of the floor, and that's tough. But like we told the guys after the game, that's the difference between winning and losing, and that's how hard it is to win, and that's how hard it is for us to win so far this year. We got a big week. We got 7 left, 7 games left, and they're all conference games. Kearney tonight, and then out of the next 6 after Kearney, 5 of them are at home, which is nice because it feels like we haven't been home much this year at all. So we're really looking forward to it. We're hoping we're playing our best ball now, so we could finish the year strong. Garrett was terrific during the tournament. Like I said, he had 31 the last night, Friday night, but averaged 19 for the tournament. We're just playing better. Jake Hansen's contributing, really being solid for us at point guard. We're fighting a little injuries, but it's part of it at this point in the season. So we're happy with our guys. We're proud of the way they're fighting. We know that we're going to get there. We just hope that it's here in the next couple of weeks so we could have some huge momentum going into districts. So that, open it up to questions.
Your first game was against Park Hill South in the tournament. Mm-hmm. You said that they handled you pretty well. How do you think that affected your guys? Do you think it put them down more at the beginning of the tournament since it was your first game and you played the #1 seed, or do you think it pushed you forward to more success?
I think the latter. I think that our guys, as young and inexperienced as they are mature. So, yeah, we got beat pretty good, but I think they understood why we got beat pretty good. They understood we didn't take care of the ball. They understood that it's 19-14. We've clawed back in the game. We have a good defensive possession and then miss a box out. And then, of course, after you miss a box out, you know what happens. They hit a 3. And so it's 22-14. So you have the opportunity, if you box out, rebound the ball at 19-14 to make it a 1-possession game. Put a little pressure on Park Hill South. Maybe they'll tighten up. But we didn't make that play, and then it was 30-15 at half. We were around, and then in the second half just kind of ran out of gas. And give them credit. They're tough. They're solid with what they do. They've got a couple kids that are just a bear to guard. They've got a big post player that we couldn't guard. We couldn't guard, and that hurt us. But I think it propelled us because I think they're mature enough to understand what it does take to win, and now it's just getting over that hump.
You mentioned Garrett Lowe and Jake Hansen. Were there any other players who showed a lot of effort and played really well in the 3 games?
Well, the good news is all of our players played really hard when they had the opportunity to get in. Playing time, we're trying to find our guys playing time. We've got a group of 9 guys that we're really leaning on, but you can only play 5. So, we're trying to find some minutes for some guys. Brinkley Jolly is starting to play well. He's been solid for us, but he's starting to pick it up to a different level. And at this point, freshmen aren't freshmen anymore. Sophomores aren't sophomores because they've been through it. We've played 17 games at this point, so he's starting to play better, and we're really chewing on him pretty good to get more out of him. He in our last game against Central, pretty impressive stat line. He had 13 points and 15 rebounds, and he's kind of the anchor in the middle for us, and we're expecting him to continue to get better here in the next couple weeks. But with Jake, with Brinkley, with Garrett, Zach Starr, somebody we're counting on. Nadir Daugherty's playing a lot better. Zach Miller's steady. Chuck Healy, Blake Starr coming off the bench, giving us good minutes. Kyle Malone is somebody that, as the season's gone on, he's had his ups and his downs, and he's hopefully on the upward swing. So we're getting contributions from 9 guys, but hopefully 9 guys are starting to play their best here in the last 3 weeks.
If we break the tournament down, your second game was against Belton. You said that you guys come out with a win. You guys were up and down and hilly. Do you think this was a good experience for your guys? It was the second game coming off a loss. So what specifically do you think your guys did to improve their game and to set themselves forward for the win?
And that's a great question. And I get frustrated with our guys, and I'm sure they're frustrated too, that, we don't know. We have a hard time winning. Part of it has to do with experience and physicality, and part of it has to do with just toughness. But, the bottom line is we don't know how to win because we've never done it. We've never been in that situation before where we've won games. So, going against Belton and playing the game that we did, we had opportunities to put them away, but when you don't play in games like that all the time, then you don't know how to do it. So I think that that's just part of the learning experience for us.
Are there any players who have improved a lot since the beginning of this season?
Thanks for asking that, because this gives me some time to talk about some guys that are really important to us. Chuck Healy has played and grown a lot. Chuck didn't play basketball last year and was with us this summer, and we saw some raw athletic ability. But he's really grown, and he's bought into the team concept. He's bought into doing things the way that give the team a chance to win. So Chuck is probably our most improved player. Blake Starr is another guy that. And those 2 guys, don't get a lot of playing time. And as a coach, it drives me nuts because I'd love to play those guys more. But, you're just trying to give your team and your guys the best opportunity to be successful. But Blake's another guy who didn't play last year and has been really good for us this year. He's been a great teammate, and he's improved just his understanding of the game. So when he does get to play, he understands kind of where he fits in. But, we've seen growth with all of our guys, but Chuck and Blake are 2 guys that mean a lot to me because they're doing things the right way. They're not getting a lot of playing time, but they don't hang their heads. They're still the best teammates in the world. They encourage their guys. They get on the guys while they're during the game, and their growth they've had enormous growth take place on the practice floor, and it's just trying to find minutes during the game.